Well, the next slide is just my name, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself. That's what we're supposed to start with. So I'm Scott Nass, and I'm speaking today as sort of my position on the Lamb Health Professionals Advancing LGBT Equality. But originally I'm from Eastern Kentucky, and I went to school not really intending to do medicine, and much to my mother's chagrin. Well, no, actually I went intending to do medicine, and much to my mother's chagrin about Thanksgiving time, I got home and told her that I was going to be an English major. She was not excited, but I said, but my advisor told me I'm going to have these great transferable skills. I'll be able to take them anywhere. Whatever I want to do, the road is wide open for me. So I finished undergrad and went on to get a graduate degree, because what else was I going to do with a bachelor's in English? And it was during the time that I was working after graduate school for a couple of nonprofits originally in Chicago and out in Los Angeles, when the director of development that was in the development department told me that she was really excited by the work I was doing, and she really saw me on the management track. It sort of froze me in my steps, and I took a couple back and thought about my exit strategy. How was I going to get out of the situation? I didn't want to be in management. I didn't go to, even though I have sort of a master's in public management, I didn't really want to do that with my career, with my life. So I decided to go home, and my father recently had a heart attack. Okay, so my father recently had a heart attack, and so I was sort of reevaluating my life's goals anyways. He was fine, a trip home from the West Coast where I was living. And so I sat in front of the computer, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do something I'm really good at. I'm really good at searching the internet. This was 2003 at this point. And I said, well, what am I looking for in life? What am I supposed to be doing next? And I'd been thinking a little bit about medicine. I had sort of been pre-med in high school, tracked through a rural Kentucky pipeline program to put underserved students from underserved counties into medicine. And thought, well, I started this thought process. Maybe there's a way to finish it. So I sat there and I thought, okay, let me search for this. And I literally typed, going back to school to apply to medical school. Okay, there's got to be something out there. And I hit search, and sure enough, post-bac programs. And I read about all these universities that had 1 or 2 year programs for people just like me. And I thought, yes, there are people like me in medicine. And then I took a big pause, and my brain kind of went blank. My stomach kind of turned upside down a little bit. And I thought, are there people like me in medicine? And so my next search, a little slower, being gay in medicine. I didn't know. I didn't have any mentors. I was working in a very artsy-fartsy field at the time, and everybody was very happy-go-lucky, but I figured there was some discrimination out there. Obviously, there were organizations that existed for various ethnic minority cultural groups. It wasn't still a problem in the year 2003. So fortunately, when I hit search now on this one, whenever I hit at the time, the Gay and Lesbian Medical Association came up, and I stood up in my chair, and I almost cried tears of joy. I remember this very moment sitting in my apartment in Los Angeles, and I thought, there are people like me in medicine. This is fantastic. And so I started reading through the literature and realized, oh, but the reason they have a group is because there are problems for people like me in medicine. So a whole bunch of emotions that day. So I realized, okay, this is something I'm going to do. I have a pathway to it. I can talk to these people, figure it out, and I'll go from there. Just a little clarification for the future now. GLAMA is now a multidisciplinary advocacy-based organization rather than a membership-based organization for only physicians. So it's since been retitled GLAMA, just the letters are sort of the only thing left of that, Health Professionals Advancing LGBT Equality. So I joined the organization right away. I actually called them on the phone. I wanted to talk to somebody, and I said, hey, I'm going to be a pre-med. Can I join the organization? Can I come to your meetings? And sure enough, yes. I went to my first meeting that fall in Palm Springs, California, where I actually live now. Things go full circle. And I met some amazing mentors. I met people doing the things that I saw myself doing in the future, public health advocates, family physicians taking care of underserved populations around the country. I was thinking family medicine at the time, coming from only having a family doctor growing up, but specialists of all kinds doing good things for the profession and for other people. And so I realized, okay, this is a place that I can do. And so I went to the meeting, I found the mentors, and I realized that there really was this need for better advocacy, for me to develop skills to be that kind of doctor. I was going to have thick skin and an arsenal of advocacy tools alongside of me. And so eventually I got into medical school. I went to, I was in the Charles Group program at UCLA, and really just knew that family medicine was for me, nothing to keep family medicine out. And so all along the way I got involved with my state chapter. I wasn't really involved with the American Academy at the time, but as a resident, I started feeling like, okay, I'm almost a real doctor. I'm almost doing the things I've seen these other people do, but I don't know how to get there. So I got back to what am I looking for, back to my original search question once upon a time. And so during a break in my second year, I had a vacation that I had nothing to do with during my second year of residency, one of my 4 weeks off. And so at the time, Chandra Hartman out of Colorado was one of the co-conveners and had been posting on the GLBT listserv. So if you're not on the listservs, make sure you're on them, because this is how inspiration can hit you out of nowhere. So I emailed her and I said, Chandra, is this something that I could do? I'm just a resident. I don't have any experience doing the things it sounds like people are going to be doing at this meeting. What do you think? And her response had so many exclamation points that it had to be true. She was so excited to be able to engage a resident, saying, yes, come, this is a place for you. And so I did. I signed up, and a few weeks later, I was in Kansas City as a first-timer, sitting where most of you are today as first-timers. And so I attended this session. I knew a little bit about parliamentary procedure, having done the AMA stuff in medical school and been vice president of the Student Senate back in college, of course. And I learned how to take these big ideas I had for making the world a better place and sort of narrowing them down and making them actionable items that we could put on paper and share with the board of directors and really move forward and take action here. I learned how to build bridges between the different constituencies who all came from the very same place in their heart, but who had different experiences and different life perspectives, and how to sort of negotiate one opinion with another. I learned how to stand up at a microphone in a crowd of people and speak my opinion, provide a defense of the resolutions that I was involved with, or ones that my constituency, which was GLBT at the time, felt strongly about one way or the other. And really, I just was able to take all of those experiences and really develop transferable skills that I was able to take back out into the world. And not just use here, but use back out wherever I wanted to be. And so I decided, you know, all along this time I was growing up in Glenma a little bit. I was going to the annual meetings, I was joining committees, I was staying involved with other professionals in training to be able to form a network of folks who would be a support group and after the fact, if that's what it really came down to. You know, these were the people like me in medicine. And so really what came out of all of the experiences I had here is that as a first timer, then a second timer, third timer, fourth timer, now this is my sixth NCCL, but was that empowerment that it gave me. The tools and the mindset that I can go out there and I can do these great things. And so I literally went out to the folks on the Glenma board and said, hey, I would like to be where you guys are. You know, what else do I need to do? Here's what I've been doing in family medicine. How can I bring that to this multidisciplinary organization that's writing amicus briefs for major court cases at the Supreme Court level, that's advocating at the state level against the discrimination laws, that's creating education for patients and providers about how to take care of patients who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. And they said, yes, we'll help you do that. But I would never have been able to ask that question. I would never been able to say, here, I have this basic skill set that I'm working on in the AAFP, and I want to continue to build that in parallel with you guys. So here I was in medicine. I found my way there. I found my support group. I began to develop a skill set. And now on the board, I've been on the board for 2 years. I've become secretary of the board. I'm on the Policy and Advocacy, Policy and Government Affairs Committee, and actually writing policy statements in real time on things that come to Glenma when people have questions and problems. We're a working board. We have a staff of 3 in DC, and so really this hands-on, down and dirty, 8 people around the table hashing out a resolution is what I do with Glenma. And I am so excited that I had NCCL to give me that start, to give me those tools to be able to get to where I am today, to be in medicine. And at the risk of sounding corny, I really found out that there was a place for me in medicine. So, and I credit NCCL for that. So thank you guys.